Hello and welcome to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. And with me today are two very special guests. We have Eddie Majidi, who's a 7th grader at Crossroads School, and his teacher, Amy Moore, who's a science teacher at Crossroads School. And we're here to talk about the middle school science fair. Welcome to you both to NPS Now.
Hi, thank you for having us.
I'm glad to have you, Eddie. I see you have your award medals on, so we're going to talk to you first. Tell me about your science project and what topic did you pick?
My project is about a visual search. It is a task that requires concentration when looking at a field of detractors trying to find a target.
Why did you choose that?
Well, I wanted something more advanced this year, and that's the 8th grade project.
Oh, that was an 8th grade project. Okay, Amy, he went above and beyond. So tell me, is this your first science fair project that you've got to the district fair, or have you been there before?
Yes, last year, but unfortunately I didn't place, but it was a good opportunity and a good experience.
How did that prepare you for this year's science fair?
Well, I knew where everything was going to be, and I knew how to work harder this time.
Mm-hmm. So Amy, tell me, why do you think his project was chosen?
Well, I feel like if you're a science teacher, you've seen a lot of the same science fair projects. So I think his kind of stood out as being an original kind of project compared to the mold that we see or the brown bananas that we see. So this was a little bit more advanced, which was nice and breath of fresh air for some of us to look at.
How would you describe his science fair project?
It stood out to me. I picked his for our school-wide science fair to be judged, to go to Nauticus for the district. And because it was more original and it wasn't like some of the ones that we've seen over and over again, so that's why I chose his. And they have to present them in my classroom. And so when he presented his, it really came off as him being knowledgeable of the subject and more original than some of the others.
So how did what you learned in science class prepare you for this science project?
We're learning to think outside the box in a scientific method, so I think that's what inspired me to go above and beyond.
So what are you doing in the classroom to encourage these students with these projects?
Well, for the projects, it's sometimes it's very hard for them to come up with ideas. So we give them, lists of places to search. They can go online and find ideas, but a lot of times they have a hard time picking something that may be age appropriate. And in some years, I'll have them come to me with their ideas and help them weed through the ones that are maybe not on level for a middle schooler. Maybe they pick something that's not as challenging. So I try to encourage them to come up with something that is more age appropriate and that they can really try to use some of their scientific knowledge to, explore.
That day of the science fair, how did you think your project went over with the judges?
I think it went well. They said that it was different and that they really liked it.
How did you feel when you found out you won? What was the first thing you did?
The first thing I did, when they tried to put this on me, I couldn't move. I was just excited and stunned.
Wow. How did your friends, how did they react to you winning?
They were all hyped. They just started screaming.
Yeah, what was it like at school when they found out you won?
There is such an encouraging group of students. He's been with the same class for a couple of years now, so they know each other very well. And so when they announced it on the
high fives in the hallway.
Yeah, the whole class is it's clapping, yay, Eddie.
Yeah. So why do you think your project won?
Well, I think our project won because it was different and it was more advanced.
Explain it just a little bit more so the viewers at home can kind of understand what your project looked like.
It's like when you lose car keys. You have all these stuff around your house, but you're trying to find one thing, and then you have to look between stuff and really find it. So if you have more stuff around it and it looks different, it'll get harder for you to find it.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. So, Amy, do you feel students are challenged with the idea of giving formal presentations of their findings and why the presentation itself is important?
Yeah, well, they have a difficult time getting up in front of the class, even with the classroom full of children they've been with and they're familiar with. And so that fear of standing up in front of the classroom, a lot of people have a public speaking fear, and they really have to kind of overcome that and present their project. And we'll ask them questions when they're done and try to help them, feel a little more comfortable about what they've just presented so they can, expound on it a little. And that kind of makes the fear, alleviated a little bit because they get a little more comfortable.
How do you get them comfortable? Is there like a method or something?
Presenting is just hard for some people.
Yeah.
And so it's just...
even adults.
Yes, yes. So we have... our classroom has a pretty good rapport with everybody, and they're really comfortable with each other. So I feel like them getting up in front of, I'm like, you talk to each other every day. This should be okay. We're just talking, right? So they'll get up and they'll present their projects, and usually they'll do a great job. Some of them just really can't overcome the fear, and they're very, timid and don't want to say anything. But for the most part, the presentation is important, I think, because it really lets them show that they know what they did.
Right. And Eddie, I'm sure you all are very encouraging to your classmates. So tell me, what was harder, the actual science project or getting up and doing the presentation?
Doing the presentation.
Really? Why is that?
I don't like to be like the center of attention. I get nervous.
Would you do something like this again?
Yeah.
Well, you won last year. Well, you were in the competition last year. So you would do it again. Why would you do it again?
Because it's fun, and you get to look at what you've done and how much hard work you put in.
And you want to be rewarded for that. And so you were. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And it's not over, I'm sure. So Amy, why is it important for students to participate in these district science fairs?
Well, I really feel like it gives them an understanding of what's out there, all the variety of projects that you see. Because I help to grade or judge the science fair projects at my school. And I don't do my own students, but I do some of the other grade levels. And it gives them a really good opportunity, especially once they get to the finalists and they have some understanding of what they've done. That lets them see all of the possibilities that are out there as far as sciences and jobs in science and what can they explore and really learn about.
So how does this help them learn more about science?
Well, it gives them a great idea about the scientific process, and they have to go through all the steps for completing the experiment. And in that, with the different categories, depending on what their project's on, it can really lead to interest in a field of science maybe that they can go into, which we need because the STEM, education is really important.
Right. So winning this science fair award, does it make you want to go into science or?
No.
No. But you enjoyed doing the project and,
Yes.
and what have you. Great. Well, congratulations to you and to you for winning the 7th grade level for this district science fair. So thank you for coming on the show and showing us your medals and telling us about your project.
Great.
Thank you both.
for having us.
And we want you to stay tuned for more NPS Now.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Sutmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. Today in the studio, a special guest, head coach from Maury High School, state champions indoor girls, Iman Islam, formerly known and always known as Coach E.
Yep.
Coach, welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Coach, let's talk about the championship right away, and then we'll get into some other things. So talk about winning the first indoor state championship for Maury High School and for Norfolk Public Schools ever.
Oh man, I mean, just the feeling was kind of unbelievable. It was a blessing because we've had disappointment like 5 times. And I read an article that said we was runner-up 5 times, and I really just was like, oh man, we got to get it this year. So just finally getting over that hump just felt fantastic, fabulous. Like I said, it's a blessing for the team, the girls, to be able to do that. And I didn't actually know that we was the first track team to ever win it in Norfolk. So, I mean, that's history.
Yeah, that's definitely history. So you talk about being the runner-up. So what gave you the feeling going into this year that you can take that #1 spot? So talk about that.
We started training in July, and every day we showed up. We added an extra day in our off season. going to Mount Trashmore, and every day was we have to work harder than everybody. We have to work harder than we did last year. And I mean, everybody was just dedicated to just busting their tail and just coming out giving it all. And we just knew if we worked and kept to the process that what we had, we'll get it done.
All right, so a lot of hard work your team bought into. So let's talk about some of these runners that got you to the state championship.
Okay, I mean, first, everybody always know Maeve Styles. She's our lead distance runner. Janice, she's our fantastic sprinter. And this year, girls that didn't score last year, Micaiah McCount ended up finishing third in the hurdles. She ran a leg on our 4x2. Naya Sally last year didn't score. Senior scored in the hurdles this year, ran a leg on the 4x2. Destiny Evans, Heaven Hall is a fantastic sophomore long sprinter. I mean, we call her the dog because she's one of the dogs on the team. It doesn't matter what race she runs, she's going to go out there and give it.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the depth of the team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are some of the strategies going into the regular season meets and the regional meets to get enough qualifiers in the state meet to score points to win a state championship?
Well, part of that is the strategy on, you know, I sat down with Coach Boyd earlier, my AD, and talked about getting into quality meets, being able to take our kids out of town to Virginia Showcase where we will be running against the best in the nation. And I know our kids always step up when they're around great quality. So it was just getting our kids that we knew was going to be in state and good quality meets. Like I say, going out of town, he always gave us a budget to be able to get to those meets to run against the Western branches every day, the Bullets every day. So we were qualified for state second meet of the year because it was one of the biggest meets of indoor season with all the good talent in the nation. So we was able to do that early and just get, like I say, just get quality meets was good for us.
So you gave a little shout out to Mr. Boyd for great support. But what about in track? There's a coaching staff. So talk about a little bit about your coaches and their success.
My sister, and I tell people all the time, my sister's the most decorated track runner to ever come from Maury. People don't understand. She state titles. She qualified for state from freshman to her senior year. She went to college, won a national title at St. Aug's, was All-American 8 times in college. So she's the most decorated runner from Maury High School, period. She came on staff 3 years ago. She was at Princess Anne 1 year, Wilson 3 years. I finally was able to pull her over to help with the hurdles and assist me with the sprints. And I mean, that was the greatest thing coming because, I mean, some of these girls never ran hurdles before. So to be able to get her tutelage from what she's done, she also ran professional 6 years. So just her experience in hurdles allowed us to be able to build on that side where I wasn't as skilled to be able to get those points to even win this year. So she was good. Trinace Best is our shot put coach. And Mr. Bennett is the cross country coach. Can't forget about him because what he does with the cross country kids in Maeve in August helps us in February. So Mr. Bennett was a great help with Maeve and the rest of the girls this year too. So that's pretty much our staff as a whole.
Okay. So, you know, let's just talk, what does this mean for this group to win it? I mean, you came on 3 years ago as the head coach. And so you've seen these young ladies grow. You've got them to that point, but now they've reached that point. So talk about just, you know, the rewards of that.
It means the world to me because, and you know, sometimes as a coach, they don't know the kids, but our kids have so unique stories that when we got to that point and when we won it and we was in our youth, we called it a positivity circle at the end, just speaking about the trials and tribulations we went through this year. It kind of got me emotional. I'm not going to cry here, but I started to cry because of the Janice's, her story, Micaiah McCounts with her doubt that she had in herself, the Heaven Halls, where they come from. A couple of our kids literally wanted to quit this year, like, and kids that scored, that thought, you know what, this sport's not for me, I shouldn't be here. So just the trials and tribulations going through that, I mean, it was super emotional at the end, but these kids' stories just makes this thing, I mean, the icing on the cake. It's just the best thing ever. Like I said, it's just a blessing.
Okay.
God is awesome.
So, so let's talk about the future. Where does this, can you sustain and keep going in the indoor season? And then obviously we're going into the outdoor season. And
no doubt
what's
about
the future there?
I sat down with the girls yesterday where we were looking at some things, and their main focus was not to be a one-hit wonder. We do not want to be Milli Vanilli. We were back. They're not back at practice, but our other team was back at practice Monday. They'll return Thursday or next Monday because we plan on winning outdoor. And in the future, we have a freshman class coming in with 4 dynamic runners that can replace the kids that we will lose. And trust me, our leaders we're losing this year is a blow, but we will return some good kids that we'll be able to keep building on this program. And my goal is to go for Claude at Western Branch 27. That's the goal.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the track program overall in the city. We've had, Norview's doing well.
Fabulous job.
Booker T's sending kids
Fabulous
to
job.
the state. So let's talk about, how is that helping track in the whole?
And it's exciting to see Norview get to where they're at, Booker T, because they're good competition. And this is just honesty. We used to go in the district meets thinking this is just practice. But now that the resurgence of Norview with True and the kids at Booker T, the resurgence of Norfolk schools allowed us to have great competition at district meets. Because the past few years, literally, we were just going to practice. So it's good to see Norview on their way up. And that's shout to Coach Kendall, Ashanti, Miss Payton, Coach Ferb, Coach Goodger, don't want to miss anybody, and the Booker T staff, and just all the other staffs, Lake Teller, Granby too.
Okay.
They're doing well too.
All right. Well, Coach, again, congratulations,
Yes,
everybody.
sir.
I know Karen Berg at Maury likes those state champions. Now you can hang out with Doree and Brandon.
I'm in the fraternity. As soon as I won it, I told the guys, I smell like y'all now, and I'm in a fraternity, and it feels good to be there.
Yeah, very proud of you. So,
Thank you, Steve.
And the team. But again, congratulations.
Thank you, Steve.
More NPS Now after this. Welcome back. We are here with 2 state champions from Maury High School, newly crowned indoor track champions, and we have Janice Hasbury and teammate Micaiah McCount. Welcome and congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so Juju, right? A Jew?
Yes.
Is that the nickname?
Yes, Jew.
Jew, okay. So that's how we're going to go with. Talk about winning the state championship for the team, being part of the team.
I mean, we kind of like went in thinking, well, we didn't have like big heads or anything, but we kind of went in thinking like, yeah, we got this. It's our time. We finished runner-up 5 times. We can't do it anymore. It's really time for us to go and get it.
Okay. Micaiah, talk about your feelings about winning the state championship.
It was just a surreal feeling. Like she said, I mean, we didn't go in with like big heads, but we were confident in our training, so we knew that
Definitely.
if we just went in there, with positive attitudes, and we come out with the best outcome.
Okay. So this meet was a little different. You guys kind of started off not as well as you usually do, but you kind of got it going. At what point during the meet you said, "Hey, we got to kick this in and get this done"?
What's funny is because we actually had 3 long jumpers doing long jump, and it was like as it started to go on, it started to get like towards the finals and things like that. So we were going to start to go hurdle drill, and Destiny Evans, one of our other teammates who were long jumping, she was like, "Okay, I'm going to go and see if we made the final." She came back and was like, "None of us made the final." So it was like, it's going downhill. Like we have to get it back together. So then, when me, Micaiah, and Naya, our other hurdler, were like, we got to get this, like, we have to place in the hurdles and get it back right. And it's like, soon as after the hurdle race, we knew we had it in the bag.
Okay. So you came in 2nd and 3rd in the hurdles.
Yes.
So that's some team points. But what race, Micaiah, that put you guys over the top? Talk about that race.
The 4x2. After the 4x2, and after we crossed that finish line, and we saw that we got first place, and we set a PR for ourselves. I think that set the energy high for us as well as the rest of the team, because it was like motivation for everybody. Like, even though we were going through adversity, it just showed us that, like, you know, all we had to do was just focus and keep going, and
Okay.
we'd be all right.
Very good. So let's talk a little bit about Coach E, and just you know, how he's kind of led you ladies to the state championship. So we'll start with you, Ju. Talk about Coach E and how you feel about him as a coach.
He's really like the best coach. Like, I haven't had a coach like him, and it's just so, everybody always thinks, well, he's mean, he yells, and he fuss, but it's like, that really gets you to, like, it motivates you to keep going and keep pushing harder. Like, the hard workouts, we really see it pays off at the end of the day. So it's like, we really can't complain, because, like, he got us here, so it's like, he really is one of the best.
Okay, Micaiah, your shot.
Definitely one of the best coaches that I've ever had. He's given me all the tools that I've needed all 4 years to progress as an athlete. And, you know, he's very motivational, and he sees things in you that you might not even see in yourself. So that helps you, you know, grow stronger as an athlete as well as an individual as well.
Okay. All right, so something new for you this year was hurdling. So
Yes.
talk about getting into that event, the training of it, and again.
I first tried hurdles like my freshman year, but I couldn't get it. So our hurdle coach of mine, she was like, "Don't worry, we'll try you again next year." So then, like 10th grade year, I started just doing long hurdles, like 300 and 400 hurdles. But then last year, I started to get into going into short hurdles and all like that. But this year, it really like stuck with it. Like, all right, you have a chance. Like, you can get it done. And I always used to doubt myself. I'm too short. I can't do it. But she was like, "No, you got it. You are going to run it." So when it shocked me, because I kept consistently running 8.5. So I'm like, okay, but at states, we were practicing and like drilling and running through them. And I'm like, okay, I feel good. I feel confident. And her and Coach T walked past like, "Yeah, you look good. This is the Jew we know." So like when I ran 8.2, I was just like, wow, like I really ran 8.2. It shocked me, because I never thought I would be good at the short hurdles.
Okay, well, very good. Micaiah, you're in multiple events.
Right.
So talk about, one, the events that you're in, and then just how taxing is that on an athlete to perform all those events at a meet?
Okay, well, I do both the long jump and the triple jump. Sometimes the high jump, I hurdle, and I'm also on the 4x2 and the 4x4. As far as like doing multiple events, it just takes focus. So if one event doesn't go right, I have to like kind of let it go and just like refocus, because I know I have a lot of other things to do as well. But it's kind of like when I go into my events, I have to figure out different pieces. It's like a different mindset that I have for each event. So that's how I get through it. And like I said, if it doesn't go right, I have to like let it go and then continue on.
Okay. All right, so let's talk a little bit about you two in terms of teammates, the bond that you've created, the trials and tribulations that you've gone through for 4 years. So you're first on Micaiah.
Okay, we originally met, like, I think it was like a AAU practice or maybe a summer practice going into our 9th grade year, coming into Maury. And then like when we first saw each other, we were like, oh, okay, we're on the same team. But then we came to Maury together. It was like, oh, hey, like we're back together. But then it was like, ever since freshman year, we were literally stuck like this. Like, so it kind of like grew stronger and stronger. And then like I kept asking her, I was like, because I really like look up to her, like as far as like academic wise and all things like that. So I was like, I really want to go to the same college. Like I was really hoping to go to the same college as her. And when we were able to both get a scholarship from Hampton, I said, oh yeah, we have to go together. Like we have to.
Okay. Micaiah?
It's a sisterhood now. It's like an unbreakable bond. We've been together so long. You know, we've gone through so much together that, you know, most people can't say that. So I don't know. It's just like locked in.
Okay. So you mentioned Hampton University. So talk about your future plans after Maury High School.
I really plan to go over there and like make an impact on it. And I heard that now, 2021, that A&T is supposed to be coming down to the Big South, and that's some really good competition. I plan on like basically taking advantage of that, because my coach always said like you could go in and sweep, you could go in and go to the conference and all like that. But now since A&T is coming down, it's like, you know, most people be scared of that or want to like, oh, no, I'm ready for it.
Okay. So Micaiah, obviously you've signed with Hampton University as well.
Yes.
So what made that decision? How did you come to that decision? And What are you looking forward to?
Well, I've always wanted to go to Hampton since like my freshman year, based on like the academics as well as track. It's just like a home feeling, and then it's right down the street from my house, so it's not too far. When I went on my visit, I felt extremely comfortable, and I think that's the best thing, you know, when you're choosing a college, being comfortable and feeling like you're at home. So that's what stirred my decision.
And we were able to go together. That's
Right,
what made it more
right.
fun.
We had a lot of fun, you know, a lot of information. It was a family feeling. Everybody was just so accepting and welcoming. And I think that, you know, once we start college, it's going to be a transition, of course, you know, being that, you know, we're coming from high school to a higher level, but I think we're going to do very well, and I'm excited.
Okay. Well, we're excited for you. But before you get to Hampton University, you have the outdoor season.
Yes.
All right. So, real briefly, can we get that outdoor track championship under the belt before leaving?
Most definitely, we're ready to come, and we have a lot of new people that want to come and join our team, and we're always welcoming. So, but we plan on sweeping that title also.
Okay, Micaiah?
Most definitely.
All right. Well, we look forward to that. We look forward to the success that you're going to have at Hampton University. And again, everybody in Norfolk Public Schools, Maury High School, Ms. Berg, Mr. Boyd, Matt Talley, they're all proud of you.
Definitely have to thank Matt Talley. He's been a big help.
Okay, so he appreciates that as well. So again, good luck.
Thank you.
More NPS Now after this.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I have two very special ladies with me here today. We have Emerson Epps, a 5th grader at Taylor Elementary, and her science and history teacher, Yolanda Brown, here to discuss the elementary school district science fair. Welcome, ladies, to NPS Now.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you both here. I had an opportunity to see your science fair project, so I'm a little excited to hear a little bit about it. So tell us, Emerson, about your science fair project.
My science fair project was called Extraordinary Changes. My hypothesis was if I dip an egg in liquid other than water, then the outer shell of an egg will change.
Wow. And so how did you do in the competition?
I got first place.
How did you feel about that?
I did not believe it at first.
Really? So how did you choose the topic?
We were just scrolling online, seeing different ideas, and we came across one that was about like eggs and like dipping it in like applesauce and stuff like that. Then we thought of vinegar, Coke, and then because my mom gets cavities a lot from like LaCroix, my cousin gets cavities from Coke.
So you want to try to figure out
Why,
with your science fair project. See, that's a great thing. You mentioned about being a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. So tell me, what did you like most about the project?
I like just watching the eggs changed.
Have you been a part of a district fair science project before?
No.
Oh, so this was a great win for you. Why do you think her project won?
Well, I think, first of all, her title was very catchy. It was extraordinary, if I may say so.
Yes.
But she had everything that was required and more. She went above and beyond. Everything was very organized on her board. She followed all the rules, and it just was so neatly put together. She had tables and graphs, which a lot of times the kids leave out one or the other. She did her full 3 trials, so she did an excellent job.
What did you like most about her project?
I like the title the most, Extraordinary Changes.
Yeah, so how did your science class feel about you winning this?
I think like most of them were like proud, maybe, impressed, maybe.
So how did your actual class, being in Ms. Brown's class, inspire you for your project?
She's a good motivator.
So she motivates all the students?
Yes.
Well, now tell us, what do you mean about motivating? What does she do specifically?
She's funny. She like doesn't get mad a lot.
That's a plus.
Yes, does not get mad
That's
a
a
lot.
plus. So she's fun, and it seems like you all get along very well, and she's very engaged with the students. So what are some of the things that are done in the classroom to encourage these students with their science fair projects?
Well, I like to try to do as many science projects as possible within the class. We don't go through the full entire process but a couple of times a year. But we do partial product projects, and we do a lot of experiments, like small things, and then sometimes I do just demonstrations because I don't want them dealing with boiling water. But if you take boiling water and you put a plastic tub over the top and release it, wow, we've just made a cloud. So that's super exciting for them. So I try to do things from the very first week of school that get them into science and make them excited.
Yeah, so during this competition, did you have to talk to a judge, and how was that?
I had to talk to 2 judges, and it wasn't that bad as I thought it would be.
Oh, wow. So did you feel confident about this year's science project?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So really, how did you respond and react when you won?
My hand was like on my face, like I was.
How does your classmates feel about you winning? Or even folks in your school?
I don't really know.
I think we're all excited.
Yes.
There you go.
Probably
Thank
excited.
you.
We're all excited.
Yeah. How did you feel about your student winning?
Well, I think this is the very first time I've had one actually win the district, the top district, and
Wow.
I've been feeling my way through science for a few years now. I kind of just got thrown into it. Really, I'm a reading specialist, but I started liking to do the projects in class, and the kids liked it, and then my principal caught on, and she doesn't let you get away if she figures out you're good at something, she's going to use you for that. So.
Right. So Emerson, why do you think your project won?
Maybe because of how I responded to the judges.
What did you do? How did you respond to the
I just felt
judges?
really confident and talked like I knew it really well.
So you think your science project, the visuals on the board, kind of helped you win too?
Yes.
Oh, great, great. So what did you enjoy most about working on this science project?
The egg part, just watching it, just change. The egg dissolve, the shell dissolve, and all that.
So when you watched the project, how long did it take to do this project?
48 hours.
48 hours. So it's kind of a quick turnaround to see a difference in what you were looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ms. Brown, why do you feel it's important for these students to compete against each other in science fair projects like this?
Well, a lot of people don't think that it's good for kids to compete against each other, but to be honest with you, I do think it is good for them. It makes them want to do better on everything that they do. They want to do just a little bit more than the next person. I think it's important that they're exposed to a lot of science, because science is where everything is going. Science and technology, that's where the jobs are going to be. And especially for a girl to win the science fair project, I'm really happy about that, because we really are trying to get more girls to get into science.
So Emerson, are you going to do another science fair project?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Congratulations to you, and to you too, for your first win.
you.
And
Thank you.
for you too, and I hope you're encouraged to do it again.
Thank you.
I want to thank you both for coming on the show today.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS, Channel 47, or you can view us online at www.npsk12.com. If you have any great story ideas or events happening at your school, please be sure to email us at npsnews@npsk12.com. Again, we want to thank you for watching NPS Now.